Greenfield gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville, along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore and longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, ex-UT basketball All-American Tony White, and former Alcoa basketball standout Dwayne Easter are here with us. Tennessee will try to regroup as the Florida Gators come to town, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will fill us in on the latest high school basketball scores, and we'll follow up with the top national sports news. Marcus Fitzsimmons will be on board to update us on what's happening in local high school sports, and we'll cover the teams and individuals who are making a mark. Today, SESI Wrestling will be on the agenda, and I'll jump in and talk some UT basketball and then follow up and break down the SEC standings and today's schedule. We're happy you're with us, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. It's still a little rainy out there, but not nearly as cold, Donnie, huh?
Well, exactly. It's been kind of a relief, a refreshing relief from all the cold air, but it's been a little rainy. But I'll take that over all that cold.
Yeah, it's going to get springtime next week.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got. I hate to do this, and I've said this before. I don't like to get on officials. But I just after watching that Tennessee Auburn game last Saturday, I'm gonna have to rip them a little bit.
Yeah, somebody needs a little rip.
Is that all right this morning?
That's quite all right.
Hey, I'm ripping the officials.
Go right ahead.
Last Saturday's Tennessee Auburn game. Don't like to criticize the officials, as I said, because it's a tough job, and especially in this league, it's even tougher. But there is a matter of letting teams play, and then there's a matter of letting two teams basically just kill each other. This game was called like just the survival of the fittest. Both teams could share in the guilt of grabbing jerseys and laying players on the court. Hey, if you can do it and get away with it, that was really kind of the law of the day. Closest basketball game I have ever seen that resembled a hockey match or a football game. A lot of defense, not much scoring, and a lot of brutality. Surprised no one. I was surprised no one got hurt, and really surprised there was not an altercation. Tony White, the first half, I was thinking, I hope they've got a lot of medical insurance. And then the second half, it didn't get any better, and I said, I hope they've got a lot of life insurance. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I hope they're fully recovered. But it was truly an ugly, knockdown, drag-out game, and I guess I don't think I've ever seen anything like that for quite some time.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. Supposed to be there to control the game. They just let it get out of hand.
I was really worried about what was going to happen at a certain point, and what made it worse. It was such a close game to Wade Easter. I mean, it was right down there to the end, and it was going to be decided on the last possession. And boy, with all that going on, I was just I was fearful.
And
we
Broom
were
kind of pulled him there at the last too.
And the last play of that basketball game, where we went down and we took Ziegler took the last shot down there. Good shot, didn't hit it, kind of rimmed in, came out. Yeah. And I think Broom ended up with the ball right there and threw it down at the other end. I mean, he just threw it down there, which is okay. It's going to eat up time and everything. But they weren't even looking at him. The official was standing right in front of him. Well, he took 3 or 4 steps before he even threw the ball. Everybody on Tennessee's bench is up. That was a big deal because there was like 2.5 seconds left. Exactly. You got another chance for another shot right there. Yeah. It was just
it was poor.
It really was all the way around. I thought Tennessee got some tough calls down the stretch, but it's hard.
It seems like it's that time. Every time you go down to Auburn, it's that way, though. It's like they usually get the better of the calls.
Yeah. The game ended up 53-51, but Tony.
Shot clock error.
Tony. Guys, I was wondering there at the first half if they were going to hit 20.
No kidding.
I
did too, Mike.
It's the shot clock, man. We do got the shot clock now, right?
Yeah, that helps. 3-point shots in the shot clock. Yeah, and you get a 53-51 game.
Yeah.
Fans went to a fight and a basketball game broke out. Didn't
same thing. You know, it was better than that. What was it? Iron Mike had a fight there a while back. And, the heavy. Yeah, that was better than that deal. Hey, Tony. You got Bruce Pearl down there. You got Rick Barnes down there going head to head. Two outstanding coaches, in the league. But it seems to me like, now this is just me talking, it seems to me like when Rick Barnes goes against somebody, right there at the top on the road, they try to make the game just as ugly as they can make it. I've seen this before in big games where they've gone on the road, and the uglier that they make the game, they feel like that's the best chance they got to win it. And last Saturday was a perfect example of that. It was as ugly as you can get, and there they were right there with a chance to win the basketball game against the number one team in the country.
Well, yeah, I mean, we didn't let Auburn get out and run and how you celebrate dunks and do all that stuff. So we kind of tamed that tiger to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Dwayne, basketball is such a game of luck. I mean, really, there's a lot of luck. Well, in all sports, there's a lot of luck. Yeah. But take the shot Auburn took down there, and the ball's going out of bounds, and Broom saves the ball back, and there's a guy on the corner like, thank you very much, and there's nobody around him. How lucky is that? I mean, he doesn't make that play. It goes out of bounds. Tennessee gets the ball.
Exactly.
It's over. You're in the driver's seat.
Right.
And, just a matter of a play, a second, and then there you are.
Yeah, it's hard to play in Auburn down there. It seems like they get a lot of calls. I don't care what year it is. It seems like they just get a lot of calls down there. Plus, it seems like the players today can run their mouth at the referees a lot more than, there's not very many technicals called. There was a lot of Broom. It seemed like every time he got touched, he was, complaining about some kind of foul or whatever, and he was doing a lot of fouling himself. So.
Yeah, well, they weren't getting any sympathy Saturday. No. You could talk all you wanted to talk. Those guys weren't blowing any whistles.
No. What you couldn't see, Mike, is they have cheerleaders walk around the outside of the court holding up a number to indicate what half it is, kind of like it's boxing.
Yeah.
You can't see that on TV, but they do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk about Johnny Broom. He'd been out 2 weeks with the ankle injury. Came back, and we knew he was going to play. I don't know anybody else. We talked about that last week.
We talked about it last week.
Anybody that's a game time decision, they're going to get in there. But 16 points and 14 rebounds. He was the difference in this knockdown affair, don't you think?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was different. They scored inside, and easy basket, and this is what they say, that the best time to shoot a three-pointer, which Auburn did, was off of offensive rebound. That's just our luck.
Yeah. Well, I've said this a lot, and I want to get Tony's opinion on it. But when you play that type, both teams were playing that physical knockdown, drag-out defense. There was hardly any transition game in the whole ball game, and there was very few really good looks, from the outside. Mm-hmm. But, Florida was 18 for 59. They were 3 for 20 from threes, and Tennessee was 17 for 54, and they were 4 for 22 from threes. My question is to you, Tony, and I believe this: when you're playing that type of defense, and you're getting a lot of minutes, and you're from a shooting standpoint, it takes away your legs. And in my opinion, it takes away your legs, and when your legs go, your shot goes.
Exactly.
Exactly. I've always said that about Rick Barnes' teams. If you're going to play that hard-nosed defense, probably not going to shoot the ball as well as you need to shoot it at times. And they don't play that. I mean, he's zeroed in on playing that type of game and that type of defensive style, but they don't always play. They played Kentucky in here last week. Of course, Kentucky spread the court.
Right.
We'll talk about them here in a little bit. A little harder when a team spreads the court to play that defense. It's like you had down at Auburn, where Auburn's going to the bucket and so forth, and Kentucky spread out. But when you have to play it, when the opportunity arises, most of the time they don't shoot very well.
No, not because your legs are gone.
Yeah,
I mean,
legs are
I'm
gone.
just saying. I mean, like they say, defense travels. So when we play hard defense like that on a team like Auburn, it was like, hey, they gave all their effort. I was proud of them and everything. They just came to play hard.
Yeah.
So what has our percentage gone down to now as far as shooting field goals? I mean, it's
3-point
kind of
shots,
plummeted here
yeah,
the last few games.
It has. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man.
What do you do like that, Tony? Do you shoot a lot more shots after practice, or I mean, Connect? I think he would stay a couple hours.
Well,
after
we didn't have to worry about Connect's legs because he didn't play no defense. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody says, well, we had Connect last year. We got right down to the end, boy. He was right there, and we could count on him to pull us through. Well, he had all of his legs left, and everybody else was wobbling around out there.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't playing any defense.
Hey,
huh?
hey. Yeah.
And if it had been anybody else but Connect, he wouldn't have been out there, would he, Tony? Huh?
Hey, talking about him, he got ejected here.
He sure did.
Last game or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, putting all that aside, if you're playing that kind of defense, of course they had Broom on the inside.
Right.
And now on our end of it, we had Opara and Melichik and Phillips, and 7 points on the inside for us. So that's a big factor. When you're playing that type of game, and you got to go inside, you better get some point production, Tony.
That's a major factor because if we had someone inside that could take the pressure off of our outside guys shooting the ball, I'm just saying they need to develop that. Then teams will have to sag in and try to help because we got a threat inside.
Yeah.
As you notice now, we need more of a threat inside. Not just only the lobs. I'm talking about feeding the post and having someone scoring and drawing fouls.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And then also how we got back in the game against Kentucky, we drove the ball, driving 2 points.
Yeah.
We wasn't selling for threes.
Yeah.
That's how we got back. And then later on, we started jacking up threes later.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you play that type of defense, you gotta penetrate more and look to score at the basket instead of,
The last two games, it's come down to basically the last shot. They called the timeout at Auburn. They elected to go for the three to win the game down there.
Right.
Traditionally, Rick Barnes, in those situations where it's right down to the end, they send Ziegler, and same way with Kentucky.
Right.
You send Ziegler into the inside, dish off, try to take the ball to the bucket, get the foul, draw the foul, or get the bucket in there on the drive. But these last two ball games, they didn't do that. They, against Kentucky, they threw up what, 4 threes right there at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Got all types of rebounds to kick back out for another three when you're what?
11
for 55 or something like that.
40.
Well, you need to be, when you're 11 for 45 for three and the game's on the line, you need to be throwing up some threes, don't you?
Exactly.
Good gosh almighty, huh?
Drive to the basket.
Yeah.
Drive to the basket.
And remember the Illinois game, and you can go back to all kinds of games during Rick Barnes' tenure here. It's always been drive, kickoff with the game on the line. That's always been the deal, and it was almost like, well, if they think they can shoot the threes, I'm just going to show them they can't, and we're going to lose. And then I'm going to tell them, now are you going to do it my way or are you going to do it your way? I don't know.
But see, that come from I'm going to just tell you, that comes from that low pro. I think we need that low post presence. I'm telling you. We need a low post presence.
I agree.
As get 10. We had someone to draw fouls inside. The game would be easier. They wouldn't be pressing up on the guards because we'd be in the 1-and-1. I mean, but if you're sitting out there with threes, you're playing right into the defense hand.
Yeah.
I just think that we need more penetrating from the wings, not to just only drive and kick, but to go to the basket and draw fouls.
Yeah.
And that's what Lanier needs to start doing, Kerry.
I think you said it right there.
Because he's not doing much. He's not doing much else.
Yeah. If you remember last year, the second option a lot of times was not for Connect to get the ball on the outside off the drive, but for him to be going into the lane and taking that pass.
Yeah.
To come in basically behind Ziegler from the opposite side and get an inside shot.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing them do that this year.
Well,
no.
Yeah. So, but you know, that's something they got to work on. They got to be a 3-level threat. And I said, and
Yeah, that's what
if you want your outside shot to open, you got to drive to the basket.
Sure you do.
And then if they on you tight, you go to the basket.
Yeah.
And then if you get, and then the mid range, you know, we got to do more. I'm just saying more than mid range, but I just think that we don't attack the basket and draw fouls.
Yeah.
Tony, I think one of the things that's showing up now with me, the difference between this team this year and the team last year. Last year you had the money guy when the game's on the line in Dalton Connect. I'm not seeing that guy right now. I'm not seeing that guy right now with this team as the opportunities have arisen. Saw it to a certain extent up in Illinois when Gainey hit the last shot up there. But that wasn't an outside shot. That was a take to the bucket type play.
Hello.
I'm talking about when you got to have one from the outside. The game's on the line, Mr. Clutch. I'm not seeing that guy right now.
Right.
We thought it was going to be Ziegler.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, we still. I'll tell you this right here. It's best is happening now for us, you know, going through it instead of later.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just saying so they can figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Kentucky came in here last Tuesday night. You don't want to lose a home game if you're gonna make headway in this league. And of course, Kentucky came in here, and I think they were down a player or two, at least one good player.
Point guard.
Point guard.
And they came in, and they looked to be well rested. They shot 50% from the floor, 25 for 50 from the field, and 12 for 24 from the threes. And it was the same old for us. We were 25 for 72 from the field and 11 for 45. 45 shots. Boy, I'd have liked to have 45 shots back in my day. Where was this back in my day? I could have used 45 shots, Tony.
Yeah.
And you too, buddy.
Oh, man. I probably would have had 70 that night.
But
No shot clock.
It looked to me like Kentucky came in rested, good legs, on the road, good game plan. We came in not so much. We looked like we were a carryover from Saturday. Looked a little bit tired, a little bit out of sync to a certain extent. And I'm sitting here watching this game, and I'm going, you shot that poorly from the field. Kentucky shoots 50% all over the place, hits them from everywhere, and you shoot what you shot from the field and from the three-point line, and you only get beat 5? That's to me the biggest statistic in that game.
It is. It's telling.
It's almost. I sat there after the game. I'm going, this is absolutely amazing because any other team would have gotten beat 30. You know, with that type of performance. Did that strike you as really unusual, Tony?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, you know, I was shocked. It's like this. You know, the kids kind of figured that they just can't show up. You know, because we was undefeated at home, and they didn't play with that intensity.
Right.
And so they have to, you know, it's a man check. Well, it's a young man check right now. They got to know that you got to come out with the same intensity every night. You just can't do it. And we let Kentucky get comfortable. I mean, once a team get comfortable, I mean, that's hard to change. I mean, we found that out in Vanderbilt. We let Vanderbilt get comfortable, and it's just kind of hard to overchange that. And we just got to keep the hammer down.
I was really surprised in Kentucky's performance because usually when you go on the road, you don't shoot 50% like they shot most of the time. You know, and Kentucky, you know, they've got some issues inside with rebounding. I mean, we got a lot of second shots against Kentucky, and you know, and they couldn't pull a rebound in a lot of crucial situations, but you know it came right down to the end again, and I don't know. I like Ziegler. I like Zakai Ziegler out there at the point. I think he's an outstanding point guard.
Right.
He's a Barnes player, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
He plays great defense. He hustles.
He's got heart.
He steals.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not betting on his shot. I'm just not. I mean, you know, he's as streaky as lightning.
And they drew up that three-point shot for him, and that was drawn up for him. I think they shot a little bit fast on that three. Did you not think?
Yeah, I mean.
A little bit?
Yeah. I mean, yes. In that situation, we still had enough time to either.
Because if he'd have made that three, they still give them time to go down there and score and win.
Right. But
I mean, because there's
It's just
How many
that
seconds left? We're about 9.
Yeah,
or
but
10
he drew the
9 or
play
10
up,
seconds.
and you couldn't wait too long, or you're going to have somebody on you. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a
Yeah.
good look,
But
man.
you could have got 2 and tied it up, couldn't you?
Well,
Instead?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another thing. I mean, it's just that, okay, I'll just say it like this. We took a chance,
but say he had made it.
There you
They
go.
could still go back down and win.
Well, yeah, but they have to shoot, though. You know what I mean?
I'd probably waited about 5 or 6
Well-
seconds and shot it. And then if we had another chance maybe to tip it in on our side or whatever.
Well,
But,
true, but, that's after the fact. That's
Yeah.
after the fact, but you in the game and you reacting. So, it kind of, we sit back now. We say, yeah,
well,
but
what about
What's up?
Ziegler's knee? Did you see when he
Hyper-
hyperextended?
Yeah.
Man,
it's hyperextended.
man,
And,
that looked, woo.
those,
Yeah.
They
They
hurt.
do hurt.
Oh, yeah.
it
Yeah,
hurts.
they, and I know, sometimes he just looks like a really outstanding, great player.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes he just looks like somebody out on the playground.
Trying a
And
little bit
I'm
too
not
hard.
trying to
Well,
be. I'm not trying to be
No, no.
disrespectful in any way.
No,
I'm
but-
just saying that he does some things exceptionally well. Penetration with the basketball, kicking
But
the
see-
ball off, the
Okay,
alley-oop,
but-
all those things. I mean, he's just
Right.
outstanding.
But see,
But
but see, you got to look at, he's our leader, and I think that he's putting a lot of. Don't get me wrong. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself.
On himself, yeah.
He's putting a lot of pressure on himself to
He
try to
does.
compensate.
Yeah.
He sees some things and he try to do things. So
Yeah.
I can't get mad at him, because of that.
Well, I
Yeah.
think what they ought to do is throw a pass 10 times before you shoot, kind of like back in the DeVoe days.
No. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
something is wrong with you this morning.
in Zakai Ziegler's defense,
Okay.
they're asking him to do an awful lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Most
Yeah.
point guards, your responsibility is to lead the basketball team. Penetrate,
Right.
pass, you're the quarterback out there.
Right,
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility in
Right.
itself.
right.
Now they're asking you to score. They're asking him to score, and some
Yeah, I
nights
mean-
some nights you get that out of him, and sometimes
Well-
you're not. And the reason I'm saying that is back when I was a sophomore, we got caught without a point guard, and they had to move Jimmy England.
All right.
It played full, and they had to move him from the wing position, which he had played his entire career,
Yeah.
and moved him to the point.
All right,
You
okay.
see? And they were asking him to do a lot.
Yeah, they
And
were.
he didn't have the experience,
Okay.
Zakai's got a lot more experience than what he's got out there,
Well-
but still, that's a lot to expect out of a player, especially when you got him out there for 36 minutes. you
Well,
know.
true, but, in the fact, who gonna pick up the slack?
Yeah.
So you rather for a senior?
Not me.
No, but you rather for a senior experienced guy to pick up the slack. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you are.
saying. But I mean, he just hey, it's his time, and you just want
Yeah, but
you
he's
just
get-
want your seniors
He's
to be your
getting
leader.
steals and assists and everything. I mean, you see
Hey,
his numbers. I mean, he's
Right,
up there real
right.
high now.
so
Yeah.
He
I
does a
understand.
lot.
What about Chaz Lanier? We had 2 games on the line right there, but he didn't get the call.
Well,
I mean, what do you think he should have gotten the call? And,
Yeah.
huh?
I think, but see, it's like this. It's the feel of the game, and that's what it is.
Has to
It's the feel of the game. It's like, hey, is Chaz rolling? Okay, we go with him. But Chaz right now, I just think that he's adjusting to the harsh defensive style play in the SEC, and that's what it is right now. And so, he just got to make that adjustment right now.
We got about a minute and a half left in this segment. Now, let me throw something out, see if anybody agrees with me. I think one of the ways that modern basketball has changed from the way basketball used to be is the fact that now teams in general and players in general look for the 3 first and then take the 2 if they can't get the 3.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And I just don't see that that's doing us a lot of good.
Well,
And that,
It can if you're hitting it.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're hitting. If
Right.
you're not,
In that game the other night against Kentucky, the best offensive player that Tennessee had on the floor was Melichik.
Yeah.
19 points, 9 rebounds. What was he from 3? 4 for 8. He was
Yeah.
4 from 8.
but okay.
And I bet you he wasn't even mentioned in that huddle taking that last shot.
Well,
I'm sure.
Well, the
6 for
point was
10
that-
from the field.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but did you see? I saw Belichick first half. He was dominant. I didn't see a lot of him in the second half.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm saying. We got to be more consistent around the whole board, all the players.
Well, here's what was a little bit, and we got to get out of here in a second. But here's what was a little disappointing against Kentucky is the fact that we shot so poorly.
Right.
And we shot so poorly, and that's not a great defensive Kentucky team. They're ranked 81st in the country in total defense.
I know.
Tony.
Hey, I don't know what it is. When it go bad, it's bad. That's all I can say.
I mean,
and when
normally
it's good, it's good.
Normally, I don't care. I know it was Kentucky, and I know it was a big game, but you're
Right.
sitting there going, well, they're 81st in the defense. Give me the ball. I want the ball.
Yeah, I understand.
You know?
Hey, believe me, I understand. My eyes would have lit up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But give them credit. You know, give them credit. They came in here and they got the win. And
they stole one.
They stole one at home. And boy, you just don't want to lose one at home. And
True.
We're going to come back here in a few minutes and talk about Florida because that's who they got today.
Oh my goodness.
I think Florida's better than Kentucky, but now I don't know how they'll show up and play in here today. But
no, you never know.
We'll see. Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide the high school scores from last night and the news from other sports from around the area. And veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons will join us with his feature Mark It Down. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Welcome to the GoTeez Sports Page.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the GoTeez Sports Page. Donnie Moore, everybody was in action last night, weren't they?
Yeah, we had a bunch of the teams playing last night. You're right about that. So let's get right to it right here. We've got the Prep Hoops scores from last night in our segment that we like to call the Mandy B. Street Realty Local Scoreboard, sponsored by Mandy B. Street Realty.
Yeah. And they're going down the stretch now. You know,
they are.
Tournament's right around the corner.
It sure is.
Everybody's getting their second win, getting ready.
Yep, sure is. Alcoa hosted Gatlinburg Pittman last night. And the Lady Tees and the Tees both scored victories last night over Gatlinburg Pittman. In the girls' game, the Alcoa Lady Tees at 20-5 on the season were victorious over Gatlinburg Pittman 59-47. GP is 16-8 on the season. Sorry, Marcus.
It's a big win for Alcoa.
It is, yeah.
It's
they
because
needed that one.
Lady Tornadoes that was their last district game. They finished perfect in the district.
Good.
So they've secured their number one seed for the tournament. I think they've got 5 games, maybe 6 left that are non-district games that they're going to, they use to get kind of pumped up for the postseason, including that Maryville game that's always big. But this is the spot they wanted to be in when they start. We had them on back right before the season, right before the season started. This is what they said they wanted to do, and they've done it. And they're doing it with a new system, and it's taking a lot of energy and using a lot of that depth that they have. So I'm really liking how their Alcoa is playing right now.
I think they're doing well. They keep rolling right on into tournament time. In the boys' contest, the Tornadoes battered Gatlinburg Pittman 80-45. And of course, the Alcoa boys are also 20-5 on the season.
But started slow last night, from what I heard from our source over here across the table.
I was at that game. It kind of started slow. It was really. I mean, both teams. I think Pittman had like 10 in the first quarter, and Alcoa had maybe 14. And then at halftime, they was ahead by like 30 points.
Wow!
In the second quarter,
they turned it on that second quarter.
They scored like 30 points in the second quarter.
You know, they're 20-5, like you said, but this was the one. You know, Alcoa is going to be rebuilding. They've lost a Mr. Basketball. You got he's in the Big Ten now. Alcoa's going to be down. They're 20-5.
Yeah, the Cherry kid played good last night. Of course, Dean he's playing good too. You know, he can get
like a deer, can't he?
You know, and I just think they're still just getting better, even because I mean we're only a month away from the basketball guys being back.
And
really.
Of course, Graff.
Yeah,
I gotta mention Graff. He's just a tough kid, that guy.
He sure is.
And he played good last night, too.
He's just an athlete.
He's just an athlete.
And we're going to get some news from him, I think, on Tuesday. It's the National Signing Day.
Oh, really?
For football, I believe. Alcoa's got 2 or 3 signing, and then Maryville's got 5 or 6, and all those are football. But Graff's on the schedule to make his announcement official on Tuesday.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
And let's just give you a little teaser. Coach Tony Iruli will be really happy.
We hope. We hope. You know, there's still 72 hours between now and then.
You're right. You're right. So we're hoping
somebody might be able to top the Bojangles Carson Newman package.
NIL package at Carson Newman.
Bojangles.
Yeah. Give him a bag with some Bojangles in it.
And a butter biscuit.
Butter biscuit.
You get a 50% coupon.
Yeah.
Cajun.
Well, Eagleton traveled to Oneida last night. Traveled northeast to Oneida, and Oneida girls at 9-13 on the season were just unmerciful to the Lady Royals, who are 3-18 on the season. 61-28 Oneida in that contest. So they came home with the Royals not feeling so royal last night. But in the boys contest, the 17-5 Royals defeated the Indians of Oneida at 9-11, 54-40. So they got a 14-point victory last night. Congratulations!
That's a good win for them, and they're closing in on 20. They might still get to 20 before the tournament starts.
They could, yes.
Wow.
They could. Heritage hosted South Doyle last night and swept a doubleheader from South Doyle. The Lady Mountaineers, what can you say about them? They are rolling. They are 23-1.
They were dominant last night.
Wow.
That may have been last night. May have been the peak of what we've seen so far from them defensively.
Mm-hmm. Well, you talk about some Rick Barnes defense now. They play it. And they beat South Doyle 58-16.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. South Doyle's 7-14 on the year. Like I said, Heritage 23-1.
Right.
In the boys contest, Heritage boys are at 18-5 on the season so far. We're victorious over the Cherokees of South Doyle. Right? It's Cherokees.
Yes, it's Cherokees
of South Doyle. 71-56. So those guys are playing some good basketball.
Yeah, Marcus, I as good as the girls are playing at Heritage, because you're somewhat expecting them to do well.
Yes, you do.
With what they had coming back.
Tradition.
I tell you what, I think the big story in Blount County basketball is the Heritage boys. What do you think, Marcus?
It could be, and I'm pretty sure I'd have to go back and check my dailytimes.com this morning on the app, but I'm pretty sure they both locked up number 1 seeds last night with those wins.
Wow.
But, you know, we did expect when you've got a Division I signee and a Division II post, you expect the girls to be good, especially when they're coming off a state tournament run. The guys, we knew about you have a player, district player of the year, so you knew they had something coming back, but all the pieces have really been fitting together well for them. And not that they didn't last year. I mean, we kind of went under the radar, but they were, you know, one good quarter away from going state last year.
They were.
They,
right.
they got stuck on a road game that they probably shouldn't have been on, in a gym that they shouldn't have been playing in, and didn't have their best night. So, I think Heritage is going. I think they are in position to keep us talking about them in March if they can keep on doing what they're doing.
Well, moving on.
Yeah, that hurt.
Maryville High School, the Rebels and Lady Rebels did not have a good evening last night. They hosted.
Well, yeah, but who were they playing?
They were hosting the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs of Bearden High School.
Bearden.
I don't think Tony can talk during this point, can it? Do we have to,
You
do
know
we have
about
to keep him
Bearden,
quiet?
I don't know.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, you know.
But Maryville lost to Twinville in the girls' contest, only by 1 point though. However, they got beat 61-60 by Bearden. Bearden's 23-3.
They're one of the best teams in the state.
They sure are, and Maryville is 9-16. But they played pretty well against Bearden last night.
And, they had a chance. They had a chance in the fourth quarter, and they had a little bit of a cold spell, and their defense kind of broke down a little bit. And it wasn't. They weren't playing for the win. They actually got the buzzer-beating three-pointer. That's why it was a 1-point game instead of a 4-point game. But they played a good game against arguably a top 5 team in the state right now.
I would imagine so.
In Bearden.
And in the boys' contest, then also a respectable score anyway, 57-51 Bearden. Bearden boys are 21-4, and Maryville boys are 16-9.
Wow.
So respectably done right there.
It
was at home.
Yeah, we had them in here last week.
Yeah.
They were feeling very good after last Friday.
Yes, they were.
And felt like they had found some things that they really have been trying to get going all season. And I think there's still some like the pieces are lined up, but they're not quite clicking completely yet. And I think there's a step or two away from being able to play with anybody anywhere.
Right. Well, that's let's move on to William Blunt, who went to Hardin Valley Academy last night. And I only have a girls' score on them. The boys didn't post their score, so I don't know what it was. It'll be interesting to see.
That never happens when William Blunt's at home.
I know.
It only happens on their road games.
Yeah.
If they go across the river, it's like scores disappear over there.
Right. It's a black hole over
But
there
if you go to
somewhere.
William Blunt, you can watch it live as it happens. There's no doubt what the score was,
Sure.
wherever you are.
Sure. Girls' contest ended up Hardin Valley 59, William Blunt 49. Hardin Valley is 8-13 on the year. William Blunt girls are 4-21 on the year, so they're not having a good season so far.
Okay.
Well, we knew this was going to be a rebuilding year.
We did,
for
yeah.
Lady Govs.
Yeah, we expected that.
I give Coach Riley credit that it's not like they've given up.
Oh no,
they're still giving
not.
people everything they want for as long as they can.
Well, Seymour traveled to Northview Academy, another Sevier County school up there. Northview Academy girls are 21-2 on the season, so they're doing a great job this year. And they won over Seymour last night, who was 14-8. They won 45-37. So that was a win for Northview. And in the boys' contest, it's Northview again, 65-60 over the Eagles. Northview's 14-9. Seymour is 7-16.
It's still a tough season.
It is.
And that one really probably should be called the Battle of Boyd's Creek because they're both they're both at each end of it.
They sure are.
But
beautiful area of the country up there too.
Yep.
Boyd's Creek area.
But that one's going to sting.
Yeah,
they're going to think
it
about
will.
that one. Sevier County is a little bit different because they're so much bigger. But Northview's fairly similar in size, and that one's going to sting.
Yeah, it will. Well, that's it for the Mandy B Street Realty local scoreboard for today. Marcus, you got anything to chip in?
Well, I did mention that we have signing day going on coming up next week.
We'll cover that
we're
next
going to have
week.
a lot of that, a lot of signees from the schedules I've seen already. Also wanted to put in a little bit of a tease. state duels are going on right now in Williamson County at the barn.
Ag Center.
The Williamson County Agricultural Exposition Center.
That's it.
Off of I-65 at Berry Farms.
Just follow your nose.
Yeah. But that means we don't have anybody there. We came close. And we're going to visit with somebody that came as close as anybody in our second hour. But when they get done today, we go to the individual postseason.
Right. And we'll have some there.
We will most likely have some there.
Likely.
We've still got regionals and sectionals to go. We're going to talk to them about that. But we're already in the postseason with wrestling, so we're moving towards spring faster than you can imagine.
Well, you got that right. It's going to feel like spring this week too.
Yeah,
coming up next week.
And one I promised a shout out for is, and because there's 3 of them sitting here at the table. Blount County Sports Hall of Fame they open nominations this week for the 2025 class. The applications are available at the parksandrec.com website. You can download those. You can fill them out. They need, the name, the stats. It takes a little bit of time to get the research together, but those usually are due in mid-March. But the 2025 apps are out, so if you've got somebody you think should be in there, this is the time to grab that form and start going to work on it.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't realize you can do that, because I've had somebody come up to me about somebody. I said, well, all you got to do is go up there and get a form and get the information and get it back in. He's like, oh, okay.
And the thing is, you just have to run by Parks and Rec office if you just want to pick up a hard copy or to turn it in. You don't have to chase down Sarah or Randy Lambert to turn that thing in. They actually, Parks and Rec handles that for them.
Yeah. They do. Yeah. Well, that's good. All right, I want to let you know that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio. And now I'm going to fake to Marcus and pass over to Mike.
Very good.
We're going to let Mike mark it down?
For Mike it down.
Yep. I'm Mike Edwards, and I'm here with Playboy basketball All-American Tony White, and
here
Dwayne,
we go again.
And Dwayne Easter stand out there at Alcoa High School. Played for Vernon Osborne back in the day. Tony, I'm going to start with you. This Tennessee basketball team's got Florida coming in here today. They got Florida and they got Missouri first of next week here at home, and then they go out to play Oklahoma. It's got outstanding basketball team. Oklahoma doing really well. Overall, not so well in the SEC as far as their start, and then they got to go up and play Kentucky. Right. Question, is this Tennessee basketball team regrouping, or are we seeing the start of the wheels starting to come off of this team?
Well, as of right now, we just got some bad news that Ziegler's out for today.
He's out?
He's out.
Uh-oh.
Ziegler is out today, so
going to be Gainey?
It's going to be Gainey
or
Boggs, the freshman. Somebody coming in, but that's the the flash news that came on.
Well, that's really a surprise, because there was no indication of that until really this morning.
True.
I don't think. I never saw anything, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday that he would be out today. So
I really didn't.
That's big, Tony. That is huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's the engine.
That's like the head of the snake. What I'm trying to say.
Well, you
that's
said
the head of the snake. that is head of the snake big. When I was talking there earlier, I was talking mostly about his shot.
Yeah.
But he does so many things.
Yeah.
85-90% his game is good.
Right. True.
The shooting's just a streaking deal with him, but he's the head of this basketball team. So that's tough news right there, and especially when your back is up against the wall right now with 2 losses.
Well, yeah.
Back to back in the SEC.
True.
That's a tough deal.
And plus, if you look at it, Florida is the team that really started this downfall for UT, and so now as in building the confidence and we're gonna be shorthanded. That's a very big task that we gotta get over today.
Overcome. And as we mentioned, Gainey has been ill.
Sick, yeah.
You know, he's been ill. He was ill the other night fighting the flu in the basketball game against Kentucky. So we don't really know how full he's going to be. And then you're talking about a freshman at point guard. That's
I mean, well, as in helping, I think Gainey will start. I'm just saying, but Boswell going to have to play a lot of minutes too because you know.
I don't think you can run Gainey at the point for 38 minutes. I think he's going to have to be able to play at least 10, 12 minutes at the point.
So.
Right, right, true. That's what I'm saying. And you know, Meshack and everybody else got to pick up the load right now.
Yeah. Well, number 5, Florida comes in, and of course Tennessee started the week at number 8, and the game is at 12 noon, high noon, on ESPN, and it's an orange and white whiteout game, Dwayne. That means depending on what section of the arena you're sitting in, you're either going to be orange or you're going to be white. And
you better already be on your way over there.
If you're not one of those two, you're out.
You're out.
You're out. I guess I don't. I don't know. But seems like the atmosphere and everything's going to be there. And the fact that they got beat so badly down at Florida, I was feeling pretty good about the game today until I heard the news about Ziegler because Florida went to South Carolina last week, won, I think, in overtime on a last-second shot, and never led.
Right.
Yeah.
Never led, I don't believe, the whole game, Dwayne.
Yeah.
So your take on where we're at now.
Yeah,
going in today.
With Ziegler out, that's going to be tough. This other guys have to step up. Gainey, like Mark was saying, I don't think he could go as many minutes like at that pace. So is Boswell the guy back behind Gainey? Is that?
Well, Boswell is the only guard left.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, got to bring Meshack.
And our phone's not ringing, is it, Tony? I'm not hearing my phone ring.
No, mine ain't ringing now. No,
Yeah.
but Mike, no, not at this time.
Yeah.
Not at my age. No, my phone don't want to ring.
So will they have to play a slower type game? Or
I think the scariest part of this, with this news, is the fact that quarterback in basketball, basketball point guards like a quarterback, like we've mentioned, put a quarterback in football that hadn't played against, and it takes a while for everybody, the center to get used to the quarterback and the receivers to get used to the quarterback. I think you see the same thing in basketball. You got the guy out there, you're used to Ziegler running things, penetrating, so forth. Now you got kind of a different look. Now I know they've had, 3 days of practice to get ready to that, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because they played Tuesday.
Right, but I think they was off Wednesday.
Oh, they were, okay.
And I went to practice Thursday.
Okay.
Ziegler was,
Was he out there Thursday?
No, he was resting because, they didn't want to, they were trying to, I guess they didn't want to overwork his knee or whatever, so he was resting. And, it's just a lot of pain with those hyperextended knees and everything. I mean, very, very sensitive. Then plus, it's after the fact, after the game, you at home, your leg is still, and, it's just a tightness and soreness. So, but it's very painful, very painful. But I'm just looking at this right here's an opportunity for the other guys. You learn a lot about your team now. You're gonna learn a lot about.
You sure will.
The team today.
We don't know how much of this is from the extension. How much is the hangover from it? And if he's like you would assume, if he could go, he would want to.
Oh yeah.
Even if he shouldn't. But I'm just wondering if the fact that it is Florida and how physical they played the first time, that there might be a little bit of precaution in there affecting a little bit in that decision. Yeah. Because, I mean, Ziegler's been beaten up.
He only knows one speed. He only knows one speed, too. He's
the last 7 games, and Tennessee's 3-4 in those last 7 games, he's taking a pounding.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not driving in there untouched.
Right.
He's getting by the first guy, but he's getting a blow from the second one.
End up on the floor a lot.
Right. But I think that if there was any chance Ziegler could play, Ziegler would play.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it's up to him. I just think that if coach see that Ziegler can't do the things that he normally can do, I think they would shut him down until he can.
Well, you don't want to risk the situation where you get him out there, Tony,
right?
And he really can't go,
right?
And then you got a situation where you might lose him for the year. You don't want that to happen.
No.
Yeah.
If you're looking at one game in the year and the tournament and the NCAA
go.
tournament, you got to look at the long haul, don't
Right,
you? with
right,
him?
true.
Yeah.
I mean, this game is important, but it's not that important that you're gonna have to play. No, I just think that more so that you know what you're saying, Mike.
Yeah, and listen, they got 4 losses in the league. So the chances of them winning the Southeastern regular season conference with the number of games they got left to play, probably not going to happen. I mean, it could, but it would surprise me. But you still got the SEC tournament on the line, and you still got the NCAA tournament on the line. So I think the decision is a good one.
Yeah.
If he's marginal on playing. So
It's very safe.
Yeah,
It's very safe.
yeah.
Unless we go on a run, we don't lose no more games. That's what you're talking about winning the SEC.
Right.
They got to go just.
Yeah, you know, you were talking last week. You might get by with 5 losses this year. You know,
so,
and I could see
already
that.
4.
But you got 4 right. Really, you don't have to win out.
Right.
I think that's the way you got to look at it right now. If you're looking for a SEC,
and you need Auburn. You're going to need Auburn to finally crack.
Yeah, they're going to have to crack on.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm curious to see what they do tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this afternoon it's a 2 o'clock game, but I think they've got a tough game today.
Tony, this Florida team, they beat us up down there in Gainesville, inside especially.
Yeah.
So you got your streaky shooter outside that's not going to play, but it could be on if he did play.
Right.
But now you're looking more. You got Lanier out there. And you got Gainey out there, but you're going to have to depend on your inside players to get some points today, Tony.
It's very important.
Don't you think?
I think Igor got to be totally consistent the whole game, and you know, Meshack gonna have to step up. It's gonna. I mean, this right here is a gut check. I mean, really. I mean, because Florida started this. You understand?
Yeah.
Florida. They shattered our confidence, and so now we're going in a man short. We gotta be really amped up to play against.
Yeah, where Florida really hurt us down there was second shots on the offense they got. They got a lot of putbacks on the boards on the offense down there. Easy shots.
Right.
But this is a Florida team they're good inside out.
Yeah.
They're good inside out,
Yeah.
and now I'm starting to wonder. Is this going to be a really ugly game? Is this a game where, your Barnes is saying, hey, we're going to have to play the greatest defense we've ever played all year, make it ugly like Auburn, hope that it's a low-scoring game, and hope you're there at the end. Is that what we're looking at today without Ziegler out there or not?
Yes, true. But I would tell you in the first 2 minutes, we really would know where we at. I just think
should.
so. In the first 2
And
minutes.
I don't think it was the defense so much the first time. It wasn't their best defensive effort, but it was the second shots.
Right.
And that it wasn't. I don't think it was the defense on the first shot. It was the inability to get the defensive rebound that hurt Tennessee so much.
They were just more physical. They just pushed us around down in Florida. I mean, all our guys they was either out of bounds, I mean, they were just pushing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Physical, very physical game down there.
and they was physical on the perimeter guys, and so it was.
I think Lanier's really going to have to step up this game. He's going to have to try to take to the basket more. And
like I say, gut check.
Yeah, it is. Gut check.
It's a serious gut check game right
we
here.
need him today,
Yeah, it's gut check.
Well, Tennessee doesn't turn the ball over very much. If they can, keep their 10 turnovers in check out there.
Yeah.
Limit Florida to one shot. You got your inside players. Can you limit them to one shot?
Right.
Don't let them put the ball back down on the offense. Try to create some turnovers with Florida so you can get some transition points, Tony.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah, got to turn them over so you can get some transition points, and you're just going to have to make some adjustments here. But
block out and get some rebounds.
I know Coach Barnes is one of the most positive guys in the world. He went down to Florida and he got creamed down there, and he goes, "Hey, this could be a really good thing for this ball team." So now I'm thinking, well, Coach Barnes, this could be a really good thing for this basketball team without your main guy playing today. If you can come out, come out of it, hey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, it can be good. It can be good for us.
Yeah.
But, it's just that the guys really got to step up and play hard for each other, and play smart, and be physical.
But
we're playing at home. That's
a good
thing.
point.
Yeah.
I would rather be without Ziegler at home than I would be going down to Gainesville today and playing him down there, or up to Rupp to play up there today.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's the good part.
So the home
about
crowd going to help us a lot.
it. Yeah. Hey, it's time to turn the page. Next up, the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensonTire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew. And now it's time for the GoTeez Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring Daily Times senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority. Proudly serving Blount County for over 100 years. Marcus Fitzsimmons, it's all yours.
Well, thanks, Mike. We've got, like I teased earlier in the first hour, we had some special guests lined up, and let me make sure I say this right, Coach. Samuel Everett School of Innovation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the acronym is SESI, right?
Right.
So Mike was having trouble with that because he was doing SESI, and we were trying to, no, you can just say SESI.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're glad to have Coach join us this morning. We brought a couple wrestlers with him, and before we got on the air, I went over there. He's watching state duels on his phone, and kind of keeping track. Coach, so close to getting there again.
Right.
You all were so close to getting up there yourselves and being in the barn today. But this program's still so young. It's got to be kind of not, I won't say unreal, but I mean, you all have had a lot of success for us for a new program.
Right. Obviously, I wish I wasn't spending time with you right now, Marcus.
We really understand that. There's a lot of people that share that sentiment.
But no, it has been unreal to go from year one not winning a single dual match to a 23-1 season this year, and obviously that one stings really bad because that's what kept us from being at the Cow Palace today wrestling in the state team duels. But it's amazing to be a part of this and be along for the ride. Only 2 seniors this year, so all signs indicate we're going to keep this train rolling.
And it's, you guys, you go through such a successful regular season. You get into the tournament, things are rolling. It's got to be disappointing for them when loss one comes where it does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just an unfortunate situation. We were missing 2 guys. That night we wrestled Signal Mountain. Makes a huge difference if we have those 2 guys. We're turn on the duels today, and Pigeon Forge is there, and Anderson County is there, and we beat both of them in duels this year. It's just the way our region lines and how we cross over. We don't get to go through them. We have to go through Chattanooga area to get there.
And, for people who aren't familiar with the wrestling geography in this state, I mean, Pigeon Forge is not an easy route to go through if you're going to that side. But when you've got the Chattanooga teams opposite of you, that is always a hard road to go through.
Absolutely.
I mean, surely you've got to beat anybody to do what you want to do at state, but it makes it a tough road just to get up there. So tell us who you brought with you this morning, because you got two guys that are they both kind of look kind of wiry and a little scrappy here.
Yeah. So I've got junior Colton relation down here. He's been our team captain the last 2 years. Finished 5th in the state last year. Hoping to be a little better than that this year. I would normally have my senior captain here with me, but he's a little under the weather, so I figured I'd let his little brother have a try behind the mic. This is Ryan Jones-Camp. He's a freshman, currently ranked 5th in the state at 120. He's one of the two we were missing. He just got cleared to return for the individual stuff, and so we're hoping that he at least matches that ranking, if not does better than that ranking in the next couple of weeks, makes it to the Cow Palace and gets himself a medal.
And we were talking about a little bit during the scoreboard, but wrestling's 2 seasons.
Right.
And not everybody's familiar with that because a lot of people think in one tournament like it's basketball. But you've got the dual part, which they're finishing up today. What does the schedule look like now for the individual tournaments? Like, what is the process to qualify these guys to get to state?
So next Saturday we will be at Livingston Academy, because that makes sense for a region tournament. Drive 2 hours. But all 12 teams from our region will be there. Everybody can send 1 kid per weight class. Your kid finishes top 4, they move on to sectionals, which will be at East Ridge. So, we'll go down to Georgia basically for that.
You get to tour East Tennessee.
Yes, we
there,
do. So then, our top 4 versus that region's top 4. So that'll be 8-man brackets. You finish top 4 there, you're going to the Cow Palace. So then we get to, drive even further down I-40 to Franklin, take some kids, hopefully bring home some hardware from there.
So we're talking about the next 2 Saturdays, and then state individual is the 3rd one.
Yep.
So basically wanting to still be doing this come February 21st. Is that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, can I pick on these guys?
Absolutely.
Or are they going to hurt me if I do that?
Nah.
Okay. Colton, I believe we've had you here before, and we've talked to you with football and everything else that's going on with the programs over there. Do y'all ever realize like how successful the program's been? Does it ever kind of sink in like, hey, we're doing something not just for the first time, but we're beating established programs?
Yeah, a little bit. Compared from last year to this year, definitely beating Pigeon Forge, big deal. Teams like that.
Is it a little bit like during the season you have the dual matches, but you also have individual tournaments that are going on at other places? Is there a different feel or vibe when you have a dual match with some of these power programs?
Yeah, definitely being able to have the whole team there to cheer you on just for that one match definitely helps a lot.
And what weight class are you wrestling this year?
138.
138. Is that the same one you were in, or is that no?
I wrestled 126 last season.
Moved up 12 pounds. I think we may have seen some of that in football season. I'm not sure. What's the difference when you move up like that? Because it's a different set of people, and what is the impact on you when you move up like that?
It's definitely different, not knowing who's in the next weight class, so you're not really used to that competition. And then on top of that, you kind of have to change your technique a little bit because you can't wrestle the same as I did at 126, a little bit heavier now. So, I mean, I got to change that up a little bit. So it's been a little bit different.
So that extra 12 pounds of the guy you're trying to move around makes a difference. Can you tell that difference?
Yeah, definitely. It's not as easy to pick them up. For sure, harder. So you got to try different things.
And you've had this postseason experience before. You know what the road is like to get to state. what do you do over these next couple of weeks? I know Coach is talking. I talked to him yesterday. You all were at practice on a Friday night. What do you do to get ready for this when you kind of switch gears from dual to individual?
Just in the practice room, just training harder, definitely. Just working hard and working on my technique just to get better.
And do you prefer to try to get guys that are heavier than what you wrestle, or what? Or do you kind of vary it up? What do you try to do matchup wise?
Usually, I try to wrestle. They were saying with the team captain, he's a little bit lighter than me. I try to stay with him, but sometimes I might wrestle someone heavier than me in practice. So.
And Coach, when you've got that kind of experience, and you have experience you had a lot of guys down there last year at state individual. Does it make it a little bit easier thinking about it this time around that you've got the guys that know what it takes to get there?
Absolutely. Year one, no state qualifiers. Felt like we should have had at least 2. And then year 2, we take 4 guys up there. Last year we took 6. Hoping it's a little bit more than that this year. We've rented a house for 2 days down there in Franklin that sleeps 15. I hope we've got people. I hope we've got to set up a tent outside to house the coaches because we filled that house up. But these guys can lean on each other, and the guys that have been there can kind of pave the way for these younger guys.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that floor at any given time. If you've got more than 6 guys down there, that's a busy day for Coach. You're going to be doing a lot of moving around and a lot of worrying.
Yeah. Luckily the format they use now, they put our division is on 4 mats that are all right there near each other. I remember, back in the day when they were 32-man brackets, and I was coaching at Heritage, and we'd take 12, 13 guys to the state tournament, and we'd be sprinting from one side of the Cow Palace to the other to track kids down. So it's a little bit easier now, but it's still, finding where they are, who had to run, even though they were almost up, had to go use the bathroom, and then we got to find them. It's chaos.
It's a fun kind of chaos, but it is a busy day down there. I will say, and I think you can maybe vouch for me on this, but there was a point in time where it was almost impossible to keep track of what all was going on at the venue at any given moment.
Right.
But now with the camera set up and with the electronic scoring, and you can literally check just about any match anywhere on the floor. You can see what's coming up. You can see what's happened. So if you get focused in for 10 or 15 minutes, you can catch up a lot quicker now than you used to be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Used to, you got a kid from West Tennessee coming up, you hadn't seen that kid wrestle all year. You have no clue, and there's no way, unless you just perfectly found where they were and watched the match, you don't know. Versus now, I can just step outside, get out my phone, and I can watch the match, see what the kid does, then relay it to my wrestler. Hey, this is what we need to be looking for here. So that's one way technology has actually helped.
It doesn't always help, but that's a good one. Okay, so he's been looking at me nervously, so now we'll give the freshman the dip in. So what weight class are you wrestling in?
120.
120. And is this the first year, or did you wrestle in 8th grade?
I wrestled in 8th grade. I did 113.
And so, what's the difference kind of like for you this year? Just going through everything that's a part of the program, is it a little bit different now that you're actually officially in the high school, so to speak?
Yeah, I feel like I'm older and I got a lot more experience and everything.
And you're coming in as a freshman, and you've got the added bonus. Is that the right word for it, Coach? Bonus of having your older brother to pick on you. How does that play out?
Well, I mean, I learn a lot from him, so it plays out really good and everything. But I pick on him sometimes. So.
Well, I'm always curious when we have brothers on team, especially when it's an individual sport like wrestling, where you all can line up against each other. Does it all stay back on the mat, or do you all end up wrestling at the house at times?
No, I mean, sometimes, but I always win, so.
Coach is over there wincing like he thinks this is going to be some repercussions next week. What is this team like? Like when you all are not on the mat, is this a group that's really loose, or y'all are really intense all the time? What is this group like when you're not out there on the mats?
Off the mat, I think we all have a good bond and everything, so like we all like are there for each other. So I think it's a really good off the mat.
Does it ever get a little weird because it's a co-op between the two schools, and like people have to come here and there and there's always a little bit of travel to get everybody together?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, because there's like you can talk about what was happening in class today, and not everybody's in those same classes or may not have seen the same thing happen in the cafeteria during lunch. Is there a lot of rumor trading between in the downtime to catch everybody up on what's happening at the other school?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Coach, and that's a little bit of a challenge for you too.
Right.
And I guess it's for really every program at Eagleton or at Samuel Everett is with the co-op. There's a lot of coordination that has to go on between getting the kids to the right facility after school.
Yeah, it's a difficult task. This year we started a middle school program because the TMSAA decided they finally would maybe care about wrestling. So we stuck our name in the hat for that. And had a great. We had over 20 kids show up, and then as football season's coming close to an end, I'm going, holy crap! These middle and high school cannot fit in this room. So we kind of had to adjust. We had to borrow some mats to set out on that old stage in the older gym at Eagleton. Anybody knows that's tight quarters. Thank goodness, no broken legs or anything to report from that. But so then I've got to find coaches to be coaching middle school while I'm coaching high school, back and forth. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it when we take a middle school team to the state team duels, and we have a high school team that's 23-1 on the season, hoping for 8-9 state qualifiers. It all becomes worth it, all that hard work.
Well, I didn't get a chance to mention this earlier, so brag a little bit about the middle school team and the run they had.
Right. So, we put it together last minute. I had coaches from Pigeon Forge. I'm calling them going, hey, how does this work? Because I, didn't know. And so we're these kids. We had 3 kids on that middle school team that had any experience at all. The rest of them brand new to wrestling. Just giving them a chance. We go to the sectional duel, and we had to beat Providence Academy from up in the Tri-Cities in Pigeon Forge. It was one of those, I wish I was there, but I was coaching these guys at a tournament at Heritage. But they beat Pigeon Forge on the last match of the duel to qualify for state team duels. And so that was a great experience. Take those young kids down to Cleveland Middle School and let them wrestle in the state team duels, first ever state team duels for Tennessee Middle School Athletic Association. Hopefully that's something we can keep rolling, get those guys some experience as they come up into high school. It's all connected, right? Your program, you've got to keep funneling it in. We only have 2 seniors, but we're very junior heavy, and that's what we're looking at going, what does it look like after next year? And so hopefully this middle school thing we've done and getting these kids, because these kids still, in all honesty, don't know nothing about wrestling, but they know that they got to have their picture in the paper, and they got to walk through the hallways of Eagleton, and all the kids clapped for them as they were going to state team duels, so they love it. So hopefully in the next couple of years as they start coming into high school and they start doing the tougher practices with less games, they remember that when it kind of stinks a little bit and keep a passion, and we can keep them in the wrestling room.
And I know Donnie's giving me a signal, but I'm going to push this. I was curious if it was like some of the bigger schools where you do the walk through the hall on the way to state, But you got to do it at 2 different schools.
Right. So for the middle school one, we just did it at Eagleton because it was on a Friday, and at Samuel Everett, we really don't have kids on Fridays. Now, last year, and we'll probably do the same thing this year when we take these guys to state for individuals, we'll do a walkthrough at Eagleton because it'll be on a Thursday that we'll leave, and then we'll come over to SESI and do another walkthrough. We do our best to make it feel special and to make it feel the same as it would feel as if they all went to school together, even though they don't.
So nice they do it twice. I like that. And this is my last one. Coach, I appreciate you coming in this morning and talking with us, especially bringing these guys with you. But, when we talk about some of the rivalries and relationships that go on between the schools in Blount County, but it feels like there's a lot of cooperation and mutual support that goes on between the wrestling programs, especially, that as long as you're not wrestling each other, you're there pretty much to help each other out and to help with kind of coordinating things. Is that true, or is that just?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, it's us and Alcoa. We see each other all year. We go a lot of places together. It gets a little awkward in January knowing that, we're going to be wrestling each other for a district title, more than likely then turn around again, be wrestling each other for a region title. Me and Coach Gossett are great friends. Me and Coach Sammy are great friends. We work together. We swap mats back and forth, swap mat tape back and forth. And we were talking the other night when we did some duels on Tuesday. It's once we get those duels over with, it's almost like we're sharing kids with each other because we know each other so well. And state tournament, we'll probably be eating dinner together, rooting for each other. As long as we don't match up with each other, it's a pretty good relationship.
Well, I've got great news for you guys. It won't help you before the state tournament because I know these guys have got to make weight.
Right.
But since last year, when you all were down there is now a Biscuit Love and a steakhouse on that exit.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
those weren't there before. So
Yeah.
there are other options down there in Berry Farms when you all come across, which is much better than it was when we first started out going down there, and the only thing down there was the truck stop.
Right.
So that exit has grown up tremendously. But guys, we wish you all the best of luck the next couple weeks. Go get them. And we always say, we love trophies on this show, and if you want to come back with a state championship trophy and put it here on the table, we'll be happy to talk to you again, put you back on the spot. But we appreciate getting up and coming in and talk to us Saturday morning. Coach, best of luck.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Mike, let's go ahead and turn the page.
Time for a break. When we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight as Donnie Moore will be up with the national sports headlines, and I'll follow up with some more UT basketball.
Guys.
You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page,
guys.
and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Best of luck, individuals. For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd Sports Spotlight with Donnie Moore. And Donnie, a lot going on. Super Bowl coming up.
Always. Yep.
Next
always.
week, isn't it?
It is, indeed. That's my lead article, in fact, of this week's sports headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. We only have one more week to wait. Super Bowl 59 is only 8 days away. The annual AFC versus NFC Survivors Showdown is next Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. in the Caesars Superdome in NOLA. It will be televised nationally on Fox Sports. Kansas City Chiefs, the AFC champs, are a 1.5-point favorite to defeat the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. The coveted Vince Lombardi Trophy and bragging rights for a year are both on the line for the winners of this one game. Comes down to one.
Yeah, well, Kansas City, this is a three-peat if they win it.
Yeah. They're looking for their third consecutive.
Has that ever been done before?
No.
I don't think it has.
No, it hasn't.
Well, Vanderbilt freshman Michaela Blakes set an SEC single-game scoring record with a 53-point effort in the Commodores' 99-86 victory over Florida on Thursday. With the 53-point game, Blakes is tied for the second most points ever scored by a freshman in a Division I game.
Wow.
Trailing only Elena Deladonna. She played from 09 to 13 for, anybody know who? Who she played for? Trivia question here.
Who? What's the name?
Elena Deladonna.
I'm about to say it wasn't Texas. It wasn't Louisiana Tech, was it?
No, it wasn't. She played for the Delaware Blue Hens.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got me on that
Yep, Delaware Blue Hens.
Delaware Blue Hens?
Yep.
Oh, he's going, I didn't know they played basketball up there in Delaware.
That was right on the tip of your tongue. I know it was.
Yeah, I know it was. I was just about to say that. I know.
I was just saying Louisiana Tech or something.
Anyway,
The Blue
Deladonna.
Hens?
Yeah, the Blue Hens.
Okay.
Deladonna had 54 points versus James Madison in 2010. Blakes is the only Division I player, men's or women's, to top 50 points in a game this season.
Wow.
Only one. In fact,
She got an eagle
it's
eye.
the most points scored by any player since Ayoka Lee of Kansas State set the D1 record with 61 points versus Oklahoma in 2022.
Wow.
So
Now she's shooting that ball.
she sure
Yeah.
is. In
They gave her the green light.
Well, in Thursday's
Yeah.
game, Blakes went 16 of 24 from the floor, including 5 of 9 three-pointers and 16 of 18 from the charity stripe.
Wow.
Had a good shooting night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she went to the line a lot, too. That
yeah,
helps.
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
You know, when you go to the line, and, you know, you're on a deal and you're scoring a lot of points, and you go to the free throw line a lot with the clock stopped, you know, that helps. That helps. If you're having a good night,
Now, were
you're
they
having
at
a good night.
was Vanderbilt at home?
Let's see. Does it say? Just
Because
says,
I want to see. I was just curious because Mike's always said that's a great shooting gym.
Yeah,
it's a
I-
shooter's
it says
gym.
over
She ought to be
Florida. I
scoring
don't know where it-
53
I don't know
every
where it
night
was.
down there.
Yeah.
She should. You're
It's a
right.
great jump.
You shot good there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great place to shoot.
Well, you just got to be careful. There's not the fast signs don't blow too much, and the wind will get it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, a fracas among several fans broke out in the stands at this week's basketball game between VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, and St. Louis University at St. Louis. The incident, which occurred with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the game, delayed the contest for several minutes while arena security and law enforcement personnel restored order. When play resumed, the Billikens, St. Louis Billikens, held on to gain a 78-69 win over the Rams.
Wow.
That game was called by the same officials that called the Auburn, Tennessee game. There we go.
Well, I was going to say. I mean, do we know was it between opposing fans, or was this like something like the Edwards brothers are at it again in the stands?
Well, it broke out right behind the St. Louis bench.
Oh, wow.
So it was just a couple of rows up. I saw the video of it. But that win knocked the knocked the VCU out of first place in the Atlantic 10 Conference.
Oh, wow. That really was a
Wait a minute.
battle.
The Atlantic 10 now includes playing in Missouri.
Atlantic 10.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, Missouri goes to the Atlantic. It goes to the Gulf of America. which it's going to be called now.
Okay.
Oh,
My
boy.
geography is always getting messed up.
World's #1 golfer, Scotty Scheffler, is back on the course for the first time since late December after he sustained a hand injury while preparing dinner on Christmas Day. Now get this. It seems that while cutting out ravioli without the benefit of proper tools, Scheffler, who used a wine glass to do the cutting, cut his hand when the wine glass shattered. He must have been craving ravioli, something fierce.
How you cut that with a wine
Pushed down
glass?
on the wine glass to cut ravioli out of the dough.
Is this the world #1 player?
Yeah,
Where's this show? I mean, where's this chef?
you got me. They were on vacation, he and his family.
But still.
You know, I'm trying to remember the last time I went on vacation and thought I'm going to make ravioli from scratch. And I'm coming up short on that.
I don't like.
Yeah,
Okay, but I'm just, that just puzzled me.
I guess he doesn't take his chef with him. Just took his family with him. And he said, I can cook.
Okay. All right.
But it cost him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Washington.
He does know they sell that stuff in the store, right?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin is on the verge of making more history in professional hockey. Ovechkin, who has 875 career goals, he's only 20 more. He only has 20 more to go to surpass Wayne Gretzky's record of 894.
Wow.
Experts say that AO should be able to set the new mark during the 2024-25 regular season.
Well, yeah,
Gonna
because
pass the great one.
I mean, the regular season is like 9 months long.
I know it
It's
is.
longer than baseball.
Here's an interesting article I thought you might be interested in. An 11-year-old collector acquired a one-of-a-kind Paul Skeens autographed debut patch baseball card and has entertained an offer from the Pirates, whom Skeens plays for, in exchange for it. The Pirates' offer included 2 season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years, a meet and greet with Paul Skeens, 2 Skeens autographed jerseys, and attendance at a Pirates game with Livy Dunn, the famous LSU gymnast and media personality, social media personality.
Yeah,
She has 10 million followers on the internet.
Wow.
Yeah, really. Well, pretty sweet offer for an 11-year-old, right?
11-year-old.
So what's wrong with
You're
this
gonna have to
card?
get a baseball guy collector on here.
What's wrong with this card? Why is it so valuable?
It's one of a kind.
One of them.
There's only one of them.
One of one.
Okay.
I don't think it's a very good deal.
No,
really.
it's not.
The Pirates, 30 years
yeah.
to all the Pirate games, they'll only have about one winning season in 30
Yeah,
years,
they might
unless
have-
they turn it around.
They might have 30 victories in 30 years.
Hey, who's that 11-year-old guy? I mean, kid.
Didn't say.
Didn't say.
Article didn't say. Didn't
Well,
divulge his name.
Well, okay. I would tell him, for 30 years, get the money.
Yeah.
Get me the money cost.
Yeah.
For 30
Well,
years of seeing baseball.
It
Here's
only
the
costs
thing.
$1 to get into a Pirate game. That's the problem.
I mean, they not winning.
Here's the thing, though.
What?
The youngster apparently didn't think that was such a great deal.
Well, there
'cause
you
he,
go.
He turned down the offer,
He a smart kid.
and he's going to put the card up for auction next month.
See, there you go. Smart kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubt.
Now, he can put it up for auction. 11-year-olds have the ability to go
Yeah.
sign with an auction company.
And
His family. Listen.
And thinking like that, in 7 more years, he'll be working himself an NIL deal for sure. Yeah.
No, Mike, he's going to be brokering NIL deals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, a few items in On This Day in Sports, February the 1st, 1913. Super athlete Jim Thorpe
Oh yeah.
signs to play baseball with the New York Giants, which he did
Gotcha.
from 1913 to 1919.
Okay.
1950, Packers founder, player, and coach Curly Lambeau resigns after 31 seasons and 6 NFL titles to his credit. Curly Lambeau, which their field's named after. Of
Yeah.
course, Lambeau Field. 1967, the 10-team American Basketball Association is formed and lasts 9 years with George Mikan as its commissioner.
Yeah.
Lasted 9 years, Mike.
Yeah.
There's some good athletes in that.
Yeah,
that
was
league,
the
too.
Fort Wayne Pistons in that league? I think they were.
I
believe they were.
Yeah.
And they became the
Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons, yeah.
1969, Richard Petty wins the Motor Trend 500 at Riverside, California in a Ford. His previous 92 NASCAR wins were all in Plymouths.
Yeah.
So he won in a Ford. So it tells you that it's the driver.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Well, usually it is.
Yeah. 1981, the 31st NBA All-Star Game at the Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. East beats West, 123 to 120. Most valuable player, Nate Archibald.
Nate the Great.
Yeah, Nate the Great, Celtics point guard.
All right.
1987, NFL Pro Bowl at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. AFC won 10 to 6. Most valuable player, VFL Reggie White.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles defensive end.
I know people will disagree with me for saying this, but from where the Pro Bowl was when they stopped it, I really like what they're doing this week. I like the skills competition with the Mannings, the flag football tomorrow. I like this format.
It's a show.
It's a little bit more entertaining than than what we saw maybe the last 10 years of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Moving to 1995, Utah Jazz guard John Stockton passes Magic Johnson's career assist mark of 9,221 in a 129 to 98 win over Denver.
Wow.
John Stockton, he's a great guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
2006, high school senior Epiphany Prince scores U.S. girls national prep record 113 points.
Wow.
Surpasses Cheryl Miller's 105.
Right.
Cheryl Miller was a great player. 2014, Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning
Who's he?
sets the record for all-time most valuable player trophies.
Wow.
With how many? 5. He won 5 MVP trophies.
Wow.
Regular season.
Yeah, regular season.
Wow.
And just to give equal time, 2023, quarterback Tom Brady announces his retirement after a 23-year career and 7 Super Bowl titles.
Wow. Wow.
Birthdays on February the 1st. 1949, another Jim Thorpe. He was a golfer, 3-time PGA Tour title winner, born in Roxborough, North Carolina. He's 76 years old now. Born in 1949.
Wow.
1987, you'll know this name, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Pro wrestler, actress, author, and mixed martial arts champion. Happy birthday, Ronda.
Wow.
Deaths on this day. In 2000, Dick Rathman. Mike, you know that
Rathman,
name.
yeah.
Dick Rathman. American auto racer, first Indy pole sitter to complete no laps. Died at 74.
Dick Rathman.
Yep, Dick Rathman.
Dick Rathman. That was Jim Rathman's
Yes,
brother.
it
Jim
was.
Jim won the 1960 Indianapolis 500.
Yes.
And the problem was that Dick Rathman was really Jim Rathman.
That's right. You've told that story before, haven't you?
Yeah, they swapped. They swapped names so that the younger one could get his license to drive Indy cars and sprint cars back in the day. So Dick Rathman was Jim Rathman, and Jim Rathman was Dick Rathman.
Wow.
There you go.
But he must have had a
Jim
wreck
Rathman
on
won the
first lap.
1960 Indianapolis 500, but it was really Dick Rathman.
Yeah.
You figure all that out.
Yeah,
Too
that
much.
doesn't get confusing at all.
That's too much. That's too much.
2004.
Rathman.
2024, I'm sorry, 2024, died on this day, Carl Weathers. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
He was an American football player, actor,
yeah.
and director. Died
Rock-
at the age of 76. Carl Weathers. Played in the Rocky movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Carl
yeah.
Weathers.
What are you talking
Yep.
about?
Well, that's all for this week's Sports Headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. I'm Donnie Moore. Back to you, Gunner.
This is Mike Edwards, and I'm here with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, and also Tennessee basketball great Tony White and Alcoa basketball standout Dwayne Easter. And I've had time to think a little bit, and for you listeners just turning in, we got the news this morning. We got all kinds of TVs going here at the Bluetick Tavern, so we found out that Zakai Ziegler was not going to play today.
Yeah.
So, Tony, I'm going to start with you a little bit. Did you ever miss any games? High school, college, did you ever miss any games because of an injury?
No.
Very fortunate. I missed, and I was fortunate too. I didn't miss any college games. I missed 2 high school games.
Yeah.
We played on Friday and a Saturday night. It was my sophomore year, and I'd been sick, and my high school coach had played at Purdue University, Mel Garland. He told me at school, he says, "Well, I'm not going to play you unless we can get doctor's approval."
Right.
And I said, "Well, I'm going." He says, "Well, you're going with me to the doctor's where you're going." So he took me to my family physician, Dr. Kirby, and he ran some tests, and he says, "Well, your blood count, your white cell count's down." I said, "You're not playing." Said, "You know, you're going to have to set this weekend down."
Oh,
and
no.
I'll never forget what I said. I looked at him and I said, "Doc Kirby," I said, "Are you going to be at the games tonight and tomorrow night?" And he said, "Well, they're out of town." I said, "Well, you need to drive because I'm going to be playing. I want you there. I want you there because I'm playing."
Yeah.
We got back in the car, and my high school said, "You're not playing." I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we're playing." We got in this heated argument all the way back to the school. I packed my bags.
Right.
I put my uniform in there. I started putting the uniform on there where we're playing. He says, "You can just go ahead and put your street clothes back on because you're not playing." So I missed those 2 games is all I missed. But, back in our day, I wish Lonnie and Ray was here because, you had to have a bone showing. When I was at UT, you had to have a bone showing or you was going to play. And, of course, they always stressed mental toughness and physical toughness. And, you needed to get out there and you needed to play. Of course, I know times have changed. How about teams that you played on, Tony, that maybe another player was out, that big game?
Yeah.
Did you have any of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And see, I'm the type of player, if one of our players older players start players out, I had like a little twinkle in my eye.
Yeah.
Because I saw the opportunity.
Yeah,
I saw an opportunity
Absolutely.
to actually get out there. Coaches couldn't take me out because we were short.
Exactly.
And perform.
Exactly.
And so that's what I think the guys got to do today.
Yeah, I was like that. He's getting 12 shots. Hey, tell y'all, but I'm getting those 12.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's
I start calculating like that. You know what I mean? Hey,
How did your team do in that Friday and Saturday
Won both
game,
of those
Mike?
games, by the
Won
way.
both of them.
Yeah, we won both of them. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying because they do all the scouting report. They're doing scouting report for Ziegler.
Yeah.
Now you got somebody that you ain't
got a
seen
new deal.
play.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't know if he can shoot.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
So
It-
yeah.
And Dwayne, in some respects, there's a little bit of pressure. I know Tennessee's kind of back against the wall because they've lost 2 in a row, but there is a little bit of pressure off today because they go out and they win.
Yeah.
Because they got that extra incentive to go out there and
There you
really
go.
play a lot
Oh,
harder.
yeah.
And a lot of
There
times,
you go.
the great teams, adversity bring that out. Adversity brings it out of you,
Yeah.
and they win. Everybody going, "Hey, what a great win! What a great win that was!" But if you lose, those fans are there, and people listening on the radio and television are going to go, "Well, Zakai was out, Ziegler was out. That's why we lost the game." And you got that out, so you got a little bit of pressure off. What do you think, huh?
I think some of these players will try to take, like say, advantage of getting to play more.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll play better together today because they know they're without Ziegler. Some of them have to step up because he does a lot. out
Yeah.
there.
I go
Defense and offense.
I'm going way back right now, and I'm probably Donnie remembers this. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but the New York Knicks, when they were in that series with the L.A. Lakers, I think it was the Lakers, way back in the day, and the Lakers had Wilt Chamberlain, they had Jerry West, and so forth. They got down to Game 7, and Willis Reed was hurt.
Oh, yeah, and
He
limping.
was hurt, and he limps out there and plays the whole game.
I remember that.
And he can hardly move up and down the court. But it was almost like, guys, I'm out here, and I'm going to get you some rebounds, and I'm moving up. It was like every trip down the court was a motivation to the Knicks in that championship game.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's when they had Walt Frazier, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
Walt
Yeah.
Frazier, and
I remember that game. Yeah, that was.
They came out of that tunnel, boy. Everybody was jumping up.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just that I just think that this opportunity for the guys, to really come together and hey, they play for Ziegler and just pick up and play hard. I mean, It's just the opportunity.
Well, Tony, a lot of fans, you know, the fact that they got off to the great start. They were undefeated, you know,
Right.
in the preseason play, and then, you know, they've lost 4 conference games, and we knew everybody knew it was going to be a tough road in the conference. But I'm not real surprised. I'm one of these guys that's not real surprised because I didn't really feel like their preseason schedule was real strong. Outside of Illinois, had some big names on there, but those teams, a lot of them were rebuilding, and I just didn't think they were number 1 in the nation. But that was me. How do you feel about it?
Well,
Tony? Is it a surprise that they've left the 4 conference games? Do we need to kind of settle everybody down here?
I mean, I just think that, you know, during that time of the, how you say, basketball season early on, we was playing good. But we also had some weakness. And so our weakness didn't show into, you know, the SEC conference with the bigger guys. You know, that was, I mean, if you look at our team right now, you'll see big man. I'm talking about scoring inside, dominant. I mean, you know, we got the shot blocker, but I'm just talking about the physical play. That was our weakness coming into the season, I think. So it didn't surprise me. You know, it's just that now we know that we got to play more physical.
Yeah, and I was a little bit concerned about our depth. You know, at certain positions, especially at the point guard position.
Exactly.
True.
At the point guard position and inside where they, you know, had the individual that hurt early in the year. There was an inside player who hurt, affected some depth. And then the other night we had Gainey that had the flu. And, you know, you got to have people that can come off the bench and step up. And we haven't gotten a lot of production, Tony, off the bench, which has been a concern for me all along.
Well, earlier, Lanier was scoring a lot more than he is now.
There was a time that they were comparing him to Connect.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
My name didn't come up with that, but thanks, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate it, but no, they didn't say nothing about Tony. They were talking about Lanier.
Then he started missing, and they go, like Tony White on an off night. On an off night, he's looking like Tony on an off night.
Well, you know what? I didn't have too many off nights there. I'll just tell you that.
There you go. Hey, I'm looking at this top 25. It's top 25.
All right, let's go ahead.
And I'm telling you, 10 SEC teams in the top 25 right now. And Big Ten's got 5, and the Big 12's got 4, and the ACC's got 2. And there you are, the ACC Basketball League forever and ever, 2 teams in the top 25.
You
the
know,
Big East Basketball League, don't even play football in the Big East, I don't think. And they got 3 teams in. Mm-hmm. And the Big 12 out there, where you've got Kansas, and in the past you've had Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, you know, been pretty good, and they've got 4, and the Big Ten looks to me like the second best league right now, but the SEC, Tony's got them doubled up.
Oh,
10.
Wow. Yeah. That's 10.
Yeah.
10 out of what? 16 teams? Is it 16 teams?
Yep.
10 out of 16.
10 out of 16 teams.
You know, we're talking about the big games that are going on in SEC today. It's Duke UNC tonight. And how many times have you seen those two play where one of them's not ranked at all?
Right.
Wow.
I mean, North Carolina's not even anywhere near the top 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's unbelievable. I mean, because, you know, I'm from Carolina, and Duke and Carolina played. That's the biggest thing, but you really ain't heard too much about it.
It seems like that's who y'all used to see on TV all the time.
Right. That was ABC on Saturday. You were going to see North Carolina versus somebody.
Exactly. You don't do it anymore.
Well, I'm here to tell you, I think Duke's got an outstanding basketball team. I don't know about you guys, but
they do.
They've got an outstanding team, and
they have
they're ranked second in the country, and Auburn is ranked number 1. And my feelings, you know, all along is I felt like Auburn should have been ranked ahead of Tennessee based on who they played in the preseason, even though they had lost, I think, a game or so there.
Right.
But there, I think they've got it right there with Auburn and Duke being number 1 and number 2. But it looks like, boy, if you're looking down at those 25 teams, I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of parity right there in those first 25 teams, Tony.
Oh yeah, it's tough.
You know,
Oh man, that's top 25, man. Any given night.
Any given night.
Any given night.
And Dwayne, you get into the NCAA tournament with these top 25, and I know a lot of years you're saying, well, the champion's going to come from the top 5 or maybe the top 10.
Right.
But man, you're looking at down through here, and you're going,
It's a toss-up.
Holy mackerel, man.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Anybody could.
If you're going to bet on it this year, you better have a lot of money. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know how good the odds are going to be this year, I'll tell you.
Yeah, but
It's going to be tough.
It's
gonna be tough
really
this
interesting. And then, I guess in the SEC, I think what you got to say is just Tennessee fans and Ole Miss fans and Kentucky. Patience is the word.
That's it.
Patience is the word. Because you look at the standings, and you say, well, there's Auburn, they're 7-0, and there's Bama 7-1, and then you've got Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, or Florida, Missouri with 2 losses, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with 3 losses.
Right.
Tony, we're just talking about a week that everything could change.
Exactly.
A team lose, maybe Auburn loses a couple games, or Alabama loses a game or 2, and then changes the whole scenario in the league.
Wide open.
And it depends on
Wide open.
so much of this is depending on your schedule, what your conference schedule ended up shaping and looking like. Because Tennessee's in the run. They're playing of the last 7 games they played 5 of them against the top of the conference, which means that you should balance out and be playing some of the bottom 5 later on. But it's not a balanced schedule. That was one of the things that we talked about when they went to 16 teams. It was all about football was the focus, but it's not a balanced schedule for basketball. It's not a balanced schedule for baseball. There are winners and losers on these schedules as to who you have to play during the regular season.
I look down there at the bottom of the league. You're saying, well, there's Oklahoma. Boy, they're down there in the bottom 4,
Right.
and they're 15-5 overall.
Exactly.
15-5 overall, and you got.
And they were top 25 team until conference play
and
started.
then you got Arkansas at 1-6, and you got LSU at 1-6, but they've played some close games. And then poor old South Carolina down there on the bottom of the heap is 0-8, and they've taken several of these teams right to the wire and lost.
They have.
Exactly.
But, so you're thinking,
and they got to be thinking we went the wrong way because they're 4-1 in the ACC.
Yeah.
From the preseason.
Yeah. They're in the wrong league.
Yeah.
They're in the wrong league. Yeah. Hey, it's time for a break, and when we return, we'll be back to close out today's show. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports. Yeah. Unbelievable.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here with Tennessee, former Tennessee basketball All-American Tony White, and Dwayne Easter, played high school basketball for Vernon Osborne at Alcoa High School, and Donnie Moore. And also Marcus.
Played my high school basketball for Bill Wallace down at Friendsville.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He's
a legend.
And that was always a big rivalry right here.
It was.
and Friendsville.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yes, sir, it was.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Tony, I'm looking at this schedule today. You got number 5 Florida at number 8 Tennessee. We've talked about that, but you got number 20 Missouri, who comes in here next week, and they're playing awful well.
Yeah.
They're at number 14 Mississippi State. number 1 Auburn's at number 23 Ole Miss. So they got two big games in the state of Mississippi today, as far as the SEC goes. And then number 24 Vanderbilt's out at Oklahoma, and Georgia's at number 4 Alabama. Don't look for Alabama to have a whole lot of trouble with Georgia today. Georgia's not playing very well on the road, but they played real well at home. But you never know. Texas is at LSU, and that is the only game that has 2 unranked teams playing each other in the Southeastern Conference today. Number 13 Texas A&M is at South Carolina, and Arkansas with John Calipari is back at Kentucky. Donnie Moore, he's back up there.
That's got to be the question of the day in Lexington. Do you boo or do you cheer when he walks in the building?
Are they going to boo?
Yeah, well, they ran him off.
They've been encouraged not to boo.
But now that he's not there, they don't like it anyway.
They're going to boo.
They will.
If you're going back in Kentucky, Rupp Arena, and you're not representing Kentucky, they're going to boo. I hate to say that.
But I'll tell you this. It's that big game next game. There's Kentucky that's come down here and shot the lights out at 50%, feeling real good about themselves, going up there to play in Arkansas, who they got some talent. They got a little bit of talent, and they're starting to put a little bit together, and they've had a good preseason winning schedule. Nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose going in there today. I don't think the Cats should take them too lightly. Too lightly, and we'll see what happens up there. Tony, I don't know. That Rupp Arena, it doesn't seem to be too loud on television. Is it louder when you're playing up there, or is there you think of a home court advantage of a loud place and so forth, but I don't know. Compared to a lot of other places, I'm just going by what it sounds like on television.
Yeah. Well, I can just tell you back in the 80s now, oh, my goodness. It was
home court.
It was home court.
Home court advantage.
Home court cooking.
I think there's a formula we're going to start seeing, especially with NIL playing an impact on ticket prices. But I've always had the theory that the more the ticket prices were, the quieter the arena got. Because once you get to a certain level of what it cost, you're getting to a certain age of your spectators, and they don't get quite as loud because the 20-somethings can't afford to go to the game anymore.
Yeah.
Well, true.
They can't.
Makes sense.
Let's go around the table here and kind of predict who's going to win this Tennessee-Florida game today.
Oh, we lost last week, Tony.
Well, I tell you what.
I got it right.
You didn't lose.
Yeah, I got it right.
Hold on now. Hold on. Hey. We lost on some, you know what Mike said about it was some bad calls.
Yeah,
right
some
down there.
bad calls.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, Kentucky, I can't say anything. We didn't play hard.
Yeah, that's true.
But down in Auburn, boy, it was some bad calls at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't right.
I picked Auburn last week. I didn't feel real good about it, but I picked them. I hated to go against Tennessee, but I did pick Auburn down there. And if I could have picked the Kentucky game, there on Tuesday, I would have picked Tennessee to win the Kentucky game there at home. But let's talk about Florida. I know that the team's going to be without Zakai Ziegler today, but I'm thinking this is a good basketball team. I like Rick Barnes. I like him at home. I like the whiteout. I like the fact that they got their tail kicked down at Florida. They got a lot of revenge factor right there. Guys, I'm going to go out on a limb today, and I know it's a big limb because I think a lot of Zakai Ziegler. I think he's the head of the snake. I'm going to pick Tennessee at home. I'm going to pick Tennessee at home today, just on motivation.
There you go.
So Tony, I'm going to you. What do you think?
I'm with you on that.
All right.
All right. I'm with you on that. I feel it. I just think that the guys are really going to step up because Florida is a revenge game. Florida started its downfall, and for those guys to know that and confidence-wise, they gotta play well.
I'm not saying it's going to be pretty.
No,
I think this is going to be an ugly game, and those people that are all dressed up over there in orange and white, looking for a lot of points on the board, it's going to
surprise you.
It's going to be like pulling teeth over there today. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm all about the surprise.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Vols.
All right.
I think, being at home, they usually play better at home. Not every time, but they usually play better at home. So, and they got something to prove. They got something to prove against Florida. So,
Marcus Fitzsimmons, are you going to let us all down here, or are you?
I'm
You're usually the doldrum guy.
I'm trying to think back. Tennessee lost this game by 30 down in Gainesville, right?
Yeah.
I think Tennessee will be 27 points better than they were in Gainesville. I think they're still going to come up 3 points short.
3 points short. So you're going with?
I'm going
with
Florida.
Florida today. Yeah. Donnie Moore,
Well, last week. I went with the Tigers, and it hurt my heart. So I'm going with the Big Orange today.
Yeah. I'd say when Broom threw the ball in and the guy hit the 3, and you had Auburn last week, I knew they had it all the way. I just knew.
We don't have
this out.
Donnie. We don't have a medical
There was
sponsor.
never any doubt in my mind.
Do it. We need to.
You can't get your heart hurt on this show if we don't have a medical sponsor. We need to
Right.
get Brian on that.
We're going to have to get a cardiologist to
Yeah.
sponsor us.
We need to put GoTeez on that. Find us a cardiologist for a sponsor.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well.
Oh man, everybody's picking the Gators.
What do they know?
Yeah,
Everybody picking the Gators. Well, there's. I don't know. TV. They've been wrong on TV before.
But look who's there. I mean,
But they go with whoever GoFans tells them they need to do to sway the line before tip-off.
They're always against UT anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Guys, it's been fun.
It has.
Tony, good to see you again.
Always,
this morning.
always.
Look forward to
Always.
having you on here, and Dwayne, good to see you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
And Marcus and Donnie, good to see you.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to going
Been
at it
fun.
again next week. Hope next week will be a better week.
I hope so too.
Better week all the way around.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the GoTeez Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host of Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. For Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the GoTeez Sports Page.